conversations with my parents are getting better.
Okay. Okay. And why would you say that is?
As you stated when I'm talking to the AI coach that I should ask for some affirmations specifically for that. So I did get 7 of them actually. So I've started to kind of play those in my head and kind of reconfirm that I can slow down. I don't have to rush, and it shouldn't matter who I'm talking to, but I should continue to use my techniques in order to have fluent speech.
Okay. Good, good, good. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, yeah, I like that. That's yeah, so definitely we want you to mention that again during
Okay.
our session today because that's pretty important.
Okay.
And I'll be ready in just a moment more.
Okay.
So today what I'd like to do is a few things. One, we'll do a live version where we'll talk about your experiences with the private coaching with me.
Okay.
And we'll just go through a few things that you've already said in the video there. Um, Second, we'll move right into the AI speech coach
Okay.
and just talk about uh, many of the benefits that you've experienced and how you believe that that has basically supplemented
Hmm.
coaching. For some people, it could replace, right? And for others, it may just be a supplement. And so we want to talk about that. And then we'll close with any thoughts or advice that you may have for people that are interested in both or either the private coaching or the AI speech coaching.
Okay.
Sound like a plan?
It does.
Okay, I'm just about done getting this other thing set up here, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. So, all right, should be ready now. Okay, so we should be ready to go now. All right, so once again, thank you for joining me today. I'm sure that lots of people have seen your videos or seen some of your written reviews of things since I've been using them quite a bit. So we wanted to just do something live here. And if anyone who happens to join us, I'll have to also monitor my YouTube a little bit. But if anyone happens to join us and they have specific questions for you, now would be a great time for them to ask. So first, maybe tell us a little bit about uh, what you do for a living, the kinds of speaking opportunities that you have, and what prompted you to work with me privately. Like, what were some of the challenges that you were having? And I know that you also mentioned in one of the videos about your your family history. So,
Okay. Well, my name is Cassandra Thomas, and I come from a family of people that stutter. My parents, both my parents, my mother and my father, as well as my siblings. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister, and all of us stutter. I've always known that I needed to do something about it. I've been in the corporate world for 30 plus years now, but what really pushed me to go with the one-on-one coaching was I had recently authored a book. So I had done the self studies of Pro 90D before. They did help, but because I knew that I really needed to focus in on improving my speech, that's when I decided to go with the one-on-one coaching with you, Michael. And I made that determination because of where I am in life. I should have done it a while ago, but I didn't. But what I currently do for work, I am a agile product manager, and I work with IT teams in the business, and I'm like the conduit in order to share what the business would like to have changed on our platform that the associates use to service our members. But in addition to that, as I stated, I authored a book. I'm a financial education coach. And then just recently, I started getting into AI. So I recently became an AI consultant. So in all of those roles, effective communication is key. So again, that's why I decided that now was the best time, although I can't turn back time. So I made that determination that I really needed to have one-on-one sessions with you. And they were quite beneficial because of the live coaching and for the strategies that you provided, the coaching, and the biggest thing was the accountability. Because again, when you're doing a self-study, you don't have to, if you don't do it, then nobody knows but you. But I felt that the one-on-one coaching uh, gave me what I needed to ensure that I did the assignments, that I practiced, that I went through the course. And when I met with you, I would have to provide you with an update. So that was like the beneficial part of doing the one-on-one, to have your expertise with that. And because of a lot of the science-backed strategies that you use, I felt that was very beneficial.
Yeah. And you just made me think about a couple of the things that at least the AI speech coach isn't quite able to do now. I mean, they might have some models that can do it, and I'm sure that in the future they will. But the accountability is there for the AI speech coach, but in a different way. With you and I've got a memory of what we did in the last session, what we said that you were going to be accountable for. You were able to send me videos that I could then watch and give you feedback. And again, I'm not saying that the AI speech coach will not be able to do that or that there aren't models out there that can't do that. But that's at least one differentiator that we have now. Because I even asked the AI speech coach about what things it could do and what its limitations were. And it says, well, one thing that we do for privacy issues is we don't remember what we did in the last session. So we don't bring forward, we don't look at sessions with other people and bring in that knowledge for privacy purposes. So while it is brilliant and can think way faster than me and can bring in information probably faster than I can and at a level that I can't, what it can't do is go back and look at the decades of experience that I've had and integrate that and watch your videos and give you feedback on that based on those experiences. So, and it hasn't had my own experiences. And while I can educate it on a lot of that stuff and it can draw from that, it doesn't quite have that yet. So those are some of the advantages if a person is saying, well, why would I want to work with this person one-on-one? Well, there you go. Like, if that's important for you. Now, we also just mentioned some of the reasons that it shines, and we'll talk more about that. In fact, you can even talk a little bit more about that a little later about all the things that it does do. So we just talked basically about what prompted you or motivated you to get started with you and some of the benefits of working with me. Talk maybe just about one or two successes that you can remember, because I know there's been quite a few. Some seemed relatively small, I guess, if you think back, but if you can think about a few successes that you had as a result of our work together, maybe share one, two, or three of those.
Okay, sure. I can think of a one right off, but I'll probably come up with another one as well. When I initially started with you, I had a lot of fillers, ums and ahs, and I actually did not realize it until one day I decided to record myself when I was on a work meeting. And listening to it and sending it to Michael, he was like, you do a lot of that ums and ahs. I had no sense of it. And it's been something that I'm sure I've been doing forever. So I was oblivious to it, didn't know what I needed to address it. But once we had our sessions and you were, saying instead of doing a pause, instead of doing an or an ah, slow down and pause. And that took me some time to change that pattern because I was so accustomed to it. And I was like, it was unconscious because I just did it. And so that was one of the things as well that really changed. And then by the time we were at the end of our sessions, you had complimented that I did have a drastic increase in the number of times that I did the ums and ahs. And it makes total sense to slow down and pause instead of feeling that. So that was something that I definitely thought was a, a great tip and something that I can use going forward. And when I think that I'm going to say or I'll just stop and pause for a second, and that is okay. Another thing was that I speak too fast. And I would speak fast to kind of get over with what I have to say, only to realize that that's like counterproductive. So actually taking my time and slowing down and really, making a conscious effort not to rush through it, just to get through with what I'm going to say. So those are two things that I felt were very beneficial for me in taking the coaching and implementing that in my speech, you know, my personal speech as well as in my professional communications as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, one thing you said, I know what you meant. I know everyone else knows what you meant. You said a drastic increase. I think you meant a drastic decrease in the number of
Uh, if,
consonants.
yes, yes.
So,
I started out saying ums and ahs a lot, and there was a drastic decrease in the
decrease.
amount of
Yeah.
times that I said the ums and ahs.
And one thing that I noticed, depending on the situation, if it's very, very informal, for example, if I'm doing what do we call it? If I'm using a voice mode and I'm talking to AI and I'm just thinking, so it's very, very casual, I will find myself using more uhs and ums, or just in super casual conversations with certain people, even certain times, I may use more uhs and ums. So for people out there that use them, I hear people on the news and TV using them all the time, sometimes overusing it. And you can see this any day that you turn on the news, you can find some people that are using ahs and ums and you know. So we're not saying that you have to completely eliminate those, but sometimes people do use them way too much. And so becoming conscious and reducing those and having a set of strategies that are effective that can help you substitute a lot of those odds and ends for something else that's more effective, that's very important. And again, you're probably going to hear me do it today. You'll probably do it today, but you'll probably find that it won't be distractive. right? It's not going to distract people because they're like, wow, this person just keeps using ahs and ums and you knows. And so this is important for us to know that we're not saying you should never use them, eliminate, but to be aware and reduce them can really set you apart communicationally from other people because you're going to hear a lot of people do it. And I think and while we don't have to get into it, but I remember you had some speaking situations, engagements. I think you might have had a workshop that you did. You might even have sent me some videos of you in some of your meetings, and we could see a significant change in your speech. I believe that you said that you felt more confident, you felt smoother. And I think you sent me some of that stuff too. So,
I did. I was preparing to do a session or like a teaching on the importance of financial education. So you asked that I practice it and send you a snippet of what I was going to talk about and the tips that you provided as far as ensuring that I'm versed on the material that I'm going to share. And then during the actual presentation, I was to answer those questions. And I'd been making presentations for years, and that never dawned on me that I can know the information and don't have to rehearse every specific word. I can recall one time when I was making a presentation when I was back up in Ohio, and I was so nervous. I had what I was going to say, and I was like reading it verbatim, and I was clutching it because I had so much anxiety, and I was trying to read it to ensure that I wouldn't stutter. So when you stated that in order to prepare for a presentation, answer those questions, and that is going to give you that confidence that you need. And you don't have to say specific words, just share the information. So, yeah, that was great. And so I did send you a couple of videos of me practicing to get ready for that presentation.
absolutely, absolutely. And they were really good, and they were really good. I mean, we could see a difference. So let's shift over into the Pro 90D AI speech coach. We've talked about it a little bit. Let's talk about, because I remember you did a video for me that I'm getting out more and more now, at least 5 benefits. And you don't have to talk about the same ones, and you don't even have to talk about five, but so guy going by on a motorcycle here. I don't know if you could hear it or not. But let's definitely talk about several of the benefits of the AI speech coach that you've seen. So some specific benefits that you've experienced with our Pro 90D AI speech coach. So just go ahead and share a few of them now or several of them now that you can think of.
Yeah, I've been having a fantastic experience with the AI speech coach. I actually like that it's like an actual session. It's like having you in my pocket, but not with all the, experience there. But I do like that you have to call in and you're doing like a one-on-one conversation. When you start, the agent asks if there's anything specific that you would like to work on for the day, if you have an upcoming presentation or, an encounter or what have you. So you have the freedom to kind of guide the agent as to what you would like to work on. I also like the fact that when you share what you're trying to work on, that you're provided with instructions on how to improve that. And you have the opportunity to practice. I recall one session where I think that I was talking about like a specific word, and I was having some difficulty in trying to get that word out. So the agent, was saying to just slow down and just blend and extend. And I actually didn't grasp it. So we had to keep doing it over and over again. And only after I was successful in doing it the way that she recommended did I get, oh, great job. When I didn't get it, it's like, well, let's do that again. So you do have
Right.
the opportunity. And I think that that's really great because you're actually putting into practice what you're needing to improve your speech. So I thought that that was excellent. Um, and then additionally, you're asked like probing questions if you're too vague about something, and in order for the agent to be able to assist you, they'll ask additional questions for that. They're very encouraging. They give you assignments between, after today's session, are you going to do X, Y, and Z? And then on top of that, an actual written recap is sent out, which I think is really, really good. And I actually went back and I was reading some of the comments and the instructions that the agent stated. And I thought that that was really good that you can actually go back and see what you were told to do in order to get past that issue or that disfluency that you had before.
Yeah. Let me jump in there, and we'll probably talk about some of these a little later, but there's a few features that we've built in. I'm not sure if you've seen. Hopefully people are using our new page for the AI speech coach, but I want to share my screen.
Mhm.
And one of the features we specifically built because of a request from another client, Beata, and I'll share with you what that one is right now. So can you see my screen right now?
Yes, I can.
You can see, okay. So I'm just going to run through a few of these features and we may touch on them again. But one is the fact, well, let me piggyback on the one that you mentioned, and then we'll move into an expansion of that. You mentioned that you automatically get an email as well as a link that gives you a report of your conversation. You can listen, so it gives you a recording of it. It gives you a transcript. It gives you a recap of it. It gives you uh, basically advice and assignments. And so it does that automatically by email. What we do additionally is we give you the ability to view a report. So this is brand new. Hopefully you've been using this version of it because we're going to be shutting down the other version. This is the one within the course. So have you been using this
That one,
version or have you been using the old link?
I've been on the old one. I've not seen this version here, so yeah, I'll definitely have to transition over.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to. So the old version is just this link that goes straight to the coach, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So this one is inside the course. I'll need to make sure that I have your name and email in there because you have to log in, right? And that helps us to protect access to the other one. But this one has a lot more features. And one is that you can get a report. So when you click that link and you put in your name, it'll bring you to this report, which essentially tells you all of your sessions. You can go to a specific session and it'll tell you uh, your progress, what you committed to do. It'll give you the coaching notes, right? The techniques that you talked about. In this particular session, I didn't really go over any techniques or anything.
Okay.
And then you can download this by just clicking this. So it gives you this report and you can keep coming back to this report whenever you want.
Wow. Okay, that is awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely need to get on this version.
Yeah. And then the other thing that we did is we added in the scheduling feature, and we're getting ready to kind of upgrade this and integrate some other things to help remind you of your commitments. So we're working on building something that you can choose how you want to use it. That if you committed to doing something X number of times a week, you can go in and say, can you send me some kind of a reminder 3 days a week or every day. So we're working on something like that. But for now, we have the scheduler where you can say, I want to schedule my sessions with the AI speech coach. And you still have to go in and do it, but you can schedule it the day, the times, recurring fixed sessions, or until a certain date. So I want to do it until a certain date and then stop. Okay, so here's what you can do with that. And that's a new feature.
That is fantastic. Oh my gosh. Because as part of your program, you state that you need to do this every day. So this is going to make you actually do that. Oh,
Exactly.
that's an awesome addition.
Yeah. So this right here is strictly to schedule your sessions. We're going to build in probably another tool or maybe even integrate it where you can have it remind you about your commitments, right?
Okay.
So we haven't done that one yet. Uh, the other thing that we built in, this was a special request, is one of my clients said, well, Michael, can we have a male coach also? I was like, well, the tool itself limits us to one voice, one like a female voice or a male voice. We figured out a way to give you both options. So now you can choose, I want a female coach or I want a
Oh,
male coach.
oh,
Okay.
that is awesome.
And then with each of the coaches, and there's some languages which are probably limited or it may not work as well, but you can always choose your language at the beginning of a session. Okay. That's always been there, but people may not have noticed that. Okay.
Oh, you are
So
just continually enhancing it and making it better and better
yeah.
each iteration that you do.
And in addition, we have at least 3 ways, 2 to 3 ways, uh, 2 to 3 ways really. And in fact, I got to get in here and make sure that all of these, yeah, I've got two advanced in there, so I got to get that out. But we have at least 2 to 3 ways that you can enhance your sessions, be more efficient, so you can build prompts. So what are you facing? What's coming up for you? And then here's how are you feeling today? And then you can generate a speech prompt. So then you can just kind of read that to the coach, and that will help you start your session more effectively.
Oh, wow.
Here is just a brief way to start. You can just say, I have a big meeting or interview, and this will give you a prompt, again, that you can read to the coach or you can say it. And then we have some advanced sessions here. So you can look at these and just kind of say, yes, I'd like to work on this. And then you can read that to the coach. I have 2 of them in here now. I got to get that one out as soon as we're done. And then this is just a fuller explanation of the session report card. So once you click this, you just type in your name. And if any of you ever run into any bugs, which sometimes you do, so it's working now. As you saw, I typed in my name and it knows who I am, and it'll pull up this particular session. I'm not sure that we'll run into issues that if there are two Michaels, but that's possible. So we'll have to figure that out. But there's always going to need to be improvements and there's always going to be some bugs and stuff like that. But if people have things that they'd like to see or they'd like for the coach to be able to do, let me know. There's some things that are out of our control and there are other things that are well within our control. Now, in the sessions, I don't know if I have a screen open. If I do, in the practice sessions, let me see if I can get to one. I think there's one other feature that I wanted to mention. Let's see if I can take a look at it. And we might not be able to see it until you start, but within the session itself, there's a way for you to see at least your transcript. So a session has to be started, so we won't be able to see it today. But once you start it, there's a little button where you can see what you're actually saying. We don't have a way for you to see the transcript of the coach, but you can see what you're saying and you can just see how clearly you're speaking and so forth. So it gives you a live transcript of what you're saying. And you can try this. I've tried it and it has worked, but you can ask the speech coach to be aware of your pacing, of your speed, because
Okay.
it can also see a transcript of what you're saying. And if it listens to you for at least a minute, it can say, well, you should slow down. We want to get you around 120 words a minute instead of 150 or 200 words. And I believe that you told me that one time you were using filler words and that it caught that. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah,
That is correct. I was doing a session, and again, unconsciously, I was doing the ums and the ahs a lot. And the agent picked up on it and stated, "You're using a lot of filler words. That's when you should pause or, slow down or blend and extend, as opposed to always having to have that constant flow or, that constant speech. It's okay to pause." So, yes.
exactly.
Mhm.
And let's talk about,
Sorry.
yeah, go ahead. Were you going to say something? Go ahead.
Yes, yes. I was, and I think that I had mentioned this before. When I'm practicing, I do a great job with it. It's in those live interactions that I think would be beneficial for the coach to hear as well. So, what I've done, I've recorded myself and I've asked the coach, "Can you listen to this live call and provide me with feedback?" So, I think that I may have mentioned it before in about having that as a possible feature as
Yeah,
well when you're actually in the midst of it and not in practice mode, you're actually in live mode.
right. So, yeah, let me just think about that. But I know one thing that you could do, this would be after the fact. Since the coach can hear you if you're using a mic, you could play the session, you could play that call for the coach. Just make sure that the coach can hear it, right? So
Okay.
as long as as long as it's coming through your speakers, you could somehow, if you have a separate mic, like I use a separate microphone, so I could play a call that I recorded and let the coach listen to it. And as long as the coach could hear it, it could give you feedback because it's
Okay.
like a live call.
A live call. Okay. Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
So
Okay.
that's one immediate way that you could get feedback from a what would be a previously live call, right? So you did something, it's live. Obviously, you don't want to get feedback while you're on that call, but
Right.
but but after you've recorded it, if you have a way to play it back while you're in a coaching call, and as long as the coach can hear it,
Mhm.
then he or she can give you feedback.
I've done that. As a matter of fact, I did that yesterday. I had update that I needed to provide on a call last week. So I had my voice recorder on, and I quoted myself, and I asked the agent, to
Good, good.
can you listen to this call, and she provided me feedback on that as well.
Excellent. Okay, great. So you're already doing that, and we'll look into what else is possible. It's kind of challenging to actually get inside what the actual speech coach can do in terms of listening to things, right? It's just a technology
Mhm.
challenge for certain things. So I'm glad that you're doing that. That's something that maybe some people never thought of or they didn't know that they could do, right?
Mhm.
The other thing that you mentioned was about the emotional contexts, which was quite surprising. So tell me a little bit more, or tell us a little bit more about what happened in terms of the AI speech coach doing what. I don't want
Okay.
to ruin it. So,
Sure. On one of the sessions, the agent asked me, what plans did I have or what I'd done, just to get me to talking. So I was mentioning the fact that I was assisting my parents in getting their will and last testament completed and signed and everything. So I didn't realize that when I got to that I was speeding up because it was very emotional for me. The thought of my mom or dad passing away, it's life, but still it's so sensitive and it's emotional. And I didn't realize it at all. And the speech coach picked up that I was trying to speed up. And I had not realized that before. And I actually took a screenshot of what was stated on here. It says, managing emotional content with steady speech was emphasized to help Cassandra maintain clarity when discussing sensitive topics like family wills. Cassandra practiced regulating pace through emotional moments by slowing down and extending words. The agent explained natural tension as a stress response and encouraged embracing emotion without speeding up. So that was an eye opener for me because I never thought about your rate or your pace of speech changing based on what you're talking about. And I'd never thought about that before. But yeah, the coach picked up on that and it was like it was a wow moment for me.
Wow.
So it really makes you, you know, think about what you're saying and knowing that that can have an impact on your delivery. Didn't I never put that together before.
Yeah, yeah. And we have talked about in the course, and depending on if this came up in our sessions, not just our sessions, but any sessions that I've had, I know it's come up in some sessions, but we've definitely talked about when you're feeling some kind of pressure or any kind of emotion. It could be you're happy, you're enthusiastic, you're excited about something, you're upset, you're angry, you're sad, you're mad, you feel anxious, nervous, rushed. Any of those can and usually does affect your speech in different ways. Often it can affect the speed. Often people will speed up. They'll go faster, they'll rush. They will begin to, we like to call it get stuck. Some people call it block or stutter, right? So all these things can be affected by our emotions or by our emotional state in the moment. So one example is if you're getting ready to do a meeting or a presentation, and if you're feeling excited, nervous, anxious, we always tell people you need to at least start and go slower than normal because you're counteracting fight or flight or the impact that your emotions might be having on you at that time. So you have to counteract it. First, you have to be aware, oh, I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling this way. I probably need to go a little slower than I usually do.
Mhm.
And then we give you specific techniques to do that. You probably need to breathe more than normal because when we get in one of those states, our breathing gets more shallower. It's more shallow.
Mhm.
And so we're getting less oxygen to our brain. And this is why sometimes we can get cloudy, right? Because we're losing some access to our thinking, our prefrontal cortex that helps us analyze, make decisions in the moment, recall certain information. You start literally losing access to that because of how you're feeling
Mhm.
physiologically. So when you breathe, you give your brain more oxygen so you can access all the stuff that you know, and you relax your whole body down, right? You take back control over that fight or flight response. The AI speech coach kind of knows this, so it will tell you, okay, breathe or relax. Or if you're in this situation, here's what you need to do. Yeah.
Yeah. I can say that every time I'm in a conversation with you, that you provide additional tips and tools and things that make you go, ah, that makes so much sense. So, what you just said about the shallow breathing and the giving your brain like what it needs in order to generate like fluent speech, that makes sense as well. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. And it's exactly what I have done and what I would do if I'm in any kind of situation where I'm feeling overwhelmed or pressured or upset. Immediately, because now it's a habit for me, my brain says, slow down, breathe more, right? So that's what you guys want is you want for this to become a habit that if I'm in this situation, I don't really have to think much. Automatically, I know I need to breathe more. I need to breathe deeper and more frequently. Automatically, I need to go slower than normal because this is what I need to do to maintain smooth speech. So, yeah. Okay, so what else did I want to talk? Oh, yes. One other thing that we wanted to talk about was was it your granddaughter?
My granddaughter, yes.
Okay, so tell
Okay,
us what
so
happened with that.
I have four grandkids. I have two granddaughters and two grandsons. Both of my granddaughters are stuttering, and my grandsons are not, but my granddaughters are. I have a granddaughter that's 4 and one that's 6. My granddaughter Maya, who is 6, she's already been in speech therapy before. And she got to a point where the therapist said that she was doing well. Well, she started to regress with that. So a couple weeks ago, I was up in Ohio and I had her come on one of the AI speech coach sessions with me. So I explained to the AI coach that this is my 6-year-old granddaughter, Maya, and that I wanted her to listen to how Maya was talking. So Maya was excited. So the agent asked her, something like, what's your favorite game or something like that. And so I did ask the AI coach to make it simple because she's 6. So it asked, what kind of games do you like? Just to get her going. So Maya started to talk. And when she was done, the AI coach was telling her that she needed to breathe. And because Maya had been a speech coach before, she knew exactly what the speech coach was telling her to do. And she instantly just she did a, a breath like that, and then she was a bit more fluent. So that was on a Sunday, and then the next day I went back to the house, and Maya initiated it, and she asked if she can do the AI speech coach session again. So I thought that was really cool that the first time I was the one that said, "Hey, let's try this." But because
Yeah.
she had such a positive experience, she initiated wanting to have another session with the AI coach the next day.
Wow. So what does that say to people about our Pro 90D AI speech? Because I think my other coach, Farouk, we were talking about some people who were trying to integrate coaches, or I was talking to someone, and they were just talking about how people were trying to integrate voice agents and coaches into their business, and it just didn't work. It takes a certain kind of programming to get it to work right. But what do you think that says about our Pro 90 AI speech coach, that your granddaughter, who's how old?
She's 6.
She's 6. What does that say about our coach?
It says that the coach has been provided the strategies and the science backed information that you utilize in Pro 90D. So you're different from others because you have, again, the years of experience in having that scientific backing to the strategies and the techniques that you talk about. I think that that is what is such a benefit because it's sharing and it's absorbing and it's teaching based on your principles, your strategies, your experience.
Exactly. And it it says in addition to that, that the coach is able to communicate on different levels. So it was
Yes.
able to communicate certain kinds of content, like you just said, that's very simple. It's pretty easy to understand, right? And it's based on science. And even she could relate to that based on her work with other professionals, right?
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
we know it's not something off the wall or whatever,
Right.
right?
Right.
And it was able to communicate that or articulate that in a way that she could understand it and identify with it, right?
Mhm.
And even be motivated enough to want to continue to do it again.
Exactly. Exactly. Hmm.
Yeah. So that's good. Good. Okay. So I think at least for this session, we're going to have you on again because you're really getting into it. You're using it. We're going to have some of our other users and members to come on and share their experiences, but we'll definitely have you back. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell people? Because right now we are encouraging people to become one of our first 100 because you're going to get at least one specific bonus, and that's you're going to get at least, I think we said at least 3 months access to our virtual Speech Masters Club. And this is a live session where you're able to come in a community of people, you're able to practice, and we have certain specific topics that you can practice and rehearse on real time, get real time feedback, puts you under pressure. And we do this every Saturday. And so some of our clients are using that live coaching, AI speech coaching. And what some of my clients are doing, I have at least 3 or 4 of them now, because we're just getting started, that have finished their live coaching with me. And now they're continuing it with the AI speech coach,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Which can give them structured sessions. He or she can focus on certain things. One of my clients says, can I use, in fact, he just asked me this a day or two ago, can I use Pro90 AI speech coach to practice my free flow speaking? I said, absolutely. So you can kind of schedule it in, or you can just go and say, hey, I want to practice free flow speaking with you. And you can do that. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. You told me earlier, yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about this, affirmations. So at the beginning of our session, and that was recorded also, but let's just mention it here. Uh, Challenges that you were having when speaking with your family, which is very, very common. It has happened to me. And what did you do, and how is that working?
So I've always had trouble or a lot more disfluency when I'm talking to my parents. And Michael, as well as the AI speech coach, said, that's because you're comfortable and they know that you stutter. So, right before I was going to get on a call with them, I asked the AI speech coach to provide me with some affirmations that I can say as I'm preparing to get ready to talk to my parents. So the AI speech coach provided me with 7 of them. So I was talking to my parents on yesterday, and I had gone through what those affirmations were. You don't have to rush it. Take your time. It was a lot of different ones,
Mhm.
but it was evident that by just reminding myself of those things, that my communication and my phone call with my parents actually went better because of those affirmations, just reaffirming that it doesn't matter who I'm talking to, that my
Right.
speech should be, slow and fluid, and that I don't have to rush in order to get through because I'm comfortable with them. They already know, again, we all stutter, but I just needed that reminder that, okay, if you can speak fluent with anybody, you can speak fluent with everybody. So
I like that. With anybody, you can speak fluent with everybody. You're gonna have to remember that because that's a good little slogan there. But so a couple of things pop up for me there. Number one, I have an affirmations program. I have a handful of them, but I have kind of two newer ones and one new one. And what I wanted to do, because these affirmations and this whole program was built off of challenges that my clients, students were having over the years. So I created a series of affirmations, and it's an audio program that you can still get and you can listen to. And they're based on you statements and I statements and different scenarios. And you can use it in one way or two ways or three ways. One, you can just listen to it over and over and over again, which I highly recommend. Otherwise, it won't be effective if you don't listen to it over and over. Two, you can listen and repeat, right? And then in listening and repeating, number three, you can listen and repeat the I version. Some people like saying I and this, I do this, I can do that. Or you can use a you version, which some studies have shown when you speak to yourself and you say, you can do this, it carries more authority because you feel like someone else in authority is speaking to you. So
Mhm,
you can use one of those versions, both of those versions, or you can just listen to it. So
mhm,
it's optional. So I built that in, I programmed those affirmations into the AI speech coach. So he or she now knows those affirmations. And we instructed it so that you can actually ask the AI speech coach based on how you're feeling and what your needs are to walk you through an affirmation session. And it can start out with breathing to calm you down and then walk you through a customized, personalized affirmation session.
mhm.
So
Yes, and yeah, and I think when I was talking to you, you were the one that stated, "Oh, well, you can ask the AI coach to provide you with those since you're running into issues in that specific area." So that's what I did,
that's
and
right.
she gave me seven of them.
Good, 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 good. The the other thing I wanted to mention in terms of the challenge that you're having and that I've had and many other people have is that we have an identity and a self-concept for who we are and how we perform, how we behave in a multitude of situations, from phone calls to answering calls or making calls, right? We can respond and react differently, to speaking in person, to ordering food, to the kinds of people that we're speaking to. Are they our friends? Are they strangers? To their their attitudes. Some people are assertive, and we might see ourselves responding or acting a certain way around or with assertive people, people who are nicer, certain numbers in terms of groups of people. There are people that can speak to five people and they're great. When it gets to 10, everything changes, right? Standing up, sitting down, on video, off video. It can go on and on. Speaking with our parents, speaking with a specific parent. Maybe with your mom, it's okay, and with your dad, it's not, or vice versa. Speaking with our siblings, certain siblings good, certain siblings not. It goes on and on. So, and your brain knows, and it says, "Oh, you're speaking with your mom, and this is how you're supposed to speak. This is how you've spoken." And so then you'll just find your speech be, performing in a certain way, depending on that particular situation. So what we want to do is kind of normalize that. And so there are certain strategies and techniques that you want to use, kind of like what you just said. If you can speak with anyone this way, you can speak with everyone this way. Just certain things you need to tell yourself so that you start to normalize your speech and your identity and your self-concept with whomever you're speaking to. And it's healthy for us to have different interactions. That's normal. You're not going to treat your mom and dad the same exact way you treat a stranger. That's
Right.
so, yeah. But for some things, for example, speech, even though you are going to speak with them a different way, we need to filter out the old speech patterns so that you can learn to speak with them as smoothly and confidently as you'd like. And coaching does that, affirmations and self-talk, and obviously under the coaching, the AI speech coach can help you with those kind of identity issues.
Yes, and
Yeah,
I can attest to that. That is so true. Mhm.
yeah. Well, good. All right. So any encouraging words that you'd like to add for people who, and we're really talking about two things right now, private coaching, because you have to make an investment there of time and money. And some
Mhm.
people are like, well, that's too much money. Well, not if you look at like an investment. I mean, I've worked with thousands and thousands, thousands of people, many of whom we've helped get jobs and they get the money back, whatever, just say it's 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. They've gotten that money back very, very quickly.
All
And I
right.
have people who've gotten uh, different jobs, they've gotten promotions. So that money doesn't just come back to you in the first promotion or the first check or second check, but it keeps coming back month after month and
Mhm.
with every promotion and every new job, right?
Yeah.
So it's an investment. You have to look at it like that, even if you're spending thousands of dollars, but you have to do the work. So was it worth the investment? And then with the AI speech coach, do you have any encouraging words for them? It's a good place for some people to start. For some people, that may be all they need. Some people may want to supplement that with live coaching. So what are your thoughts and just kind of last words of encouragement, at least for this session?
Sure, sure. So I went through the personal one-on-one speech. Now I'm starting to fumble up. So yeah, I did go through the one-on-one, the personal coaching with you. And I made that determination because I needed someone that was going to teach me, and not only from the books, but because you actually stutter yourself. So you personally know what it feels like. So I decided to go with you with that one-on-one. And the accountability part is what is missing, what I was missing when I was doing the self-study. So I would definitely encourage people, if you're wanting to see a drastic change, but you've got to do the work, that they should do one-on-one sessions with you. And yes, it is an investment, but the return on investment is just it's phenomenal. So, like you stated, it's not just you getting a better job, but that job continually pays you more. You can go to different things as well. In regards to the AI coach, I think that the AI coach is a great supplement to have you continue to work on your speech even after you're done with the personal one-on-one sessions with you. The investment may be a lot, but it's definitely worth it. But if you do have to go with the AI coach, I think that that is a great way to get your teachings, your strategies, your thoughts, your recommendations on how someone can do the most important thing that they can with their speech, and that is to learn how to speak more confidently and calmly.
Well, thank you very much. Farouk just joined us, and I know that you've committed to being here for this hour, so feel free to if you need to slide out and do something else, I think he's going to come in just for a few minutes because we're going to wrap up now. But we really appreciate you joining us and for all of the videos that you've given us that's provided us with insights. And we'll have you on again when you've had even more experiences.
Okay.
So thank you so much. And Farouk, are you here?
Michael, yes, I'm here. I think I might not be able to get my video on right now because I wasn't ready.
Okay.
Very interesting session, and I'm not happy that I missed it. I still missed out like the difference in time here in Germany. It's not yet changed. I should have figured that out earlier, but yeah, I hope everybody had a pretty good session. Pretty happy to see the progress that Cassandra has been making. And now she being there in so many webinars and speaking so smoothly, so fluently, just lets us know how it has been working for her and all the rest of the people that have been working through the system. The thing that I would like to add, I don't know a lot what has been discussed in the webinar is this is the time when the system is offering you the most than it has ever offered. The virtual speech masters, the one-on-one speech coaching, and then this AI speech coach. And then we are also going to have some more interesting things in the future that you will get to know soon. So there's a lot on your plate right now, and there's a lot that you can do with your speech. So there's not just one option whether you get it or not get it, but you have a lot of different options, and based on your situation and what you can afford and what you can go for, you can start with that. And like Michael said, sometimes that can be just that might be all you need. Let it be the AI speech course, let it be the VSMC, let it be the self study, or you might realize that I need something more. So there are a lot of options, but at least start with something, start to see the progress. And you will notice, and you might be the next one sitting with us in these webinars like her. So talking about
Yeah.
your speech journey and your speech progress. So yeah, Michael, I hope you guys had a wonderful session, and I wished
Yeah.
I joined it from the start, but we'll be doing more of these anyways. So we'll bring some interesting things to talk about.
Very good. Just one or two things I wanted to mention, Cassandra, and then we will wrap this up. I know that you probably need to go, but one, we're going to be bringing in a new community tool called School, Skool. That's going to be our hub for our community. So we'll be migrating kind of away from WhatsApp, eventually maybe migrating away from using Slack, because we use that, as you know, for our coaching clients, where you just send me videos, I send you videos back. So we're going to be using School, and Farouk will be conducting sessions at least once a week. These will be kind of group coaching sessions. Right now, for the next X number of days, we're going to decide on that soon. Those sessions can be free. So if you join our school community now, you can access him in a group environment for free. He's been our coach for the last 3-4 years at least. So, and he also is the lead in our Saturday virtual speech master sessions. It's every Saturday that we talked about. So those are the speech masters we've been doing for a couple of years now, but those are two things that we have that are going on to provide you with more support, more community, and more very, very helpful resources. So we're putting you under pressure. We're giving you feedback. We're giving you a community to share, to get encouragement from, to give encouragement to. We've built our AIs. And so we're having more and more ways to actually help you go to the next level with your speech.
That is fantastic. You guys are, again, continually doing more and more. So I personally appreciate all the time and energy, education, expertise that you guys have and that you're making available for anyone who struggles with their speech and who is seeking to make drastic improvements in their communication skills.
Very good. Well, thank you, Cassandra. Thank you all of those that joined us in the background there. If you've joined us live on YouTube, thank you. If you guys have questions, feel free to visit. Let me just put in this chat box here the website, and give me a second. I'm just going to paste it so I make sure that I get it right. So this is our main website for our AI speech coach. Check it out. It's fun. It's very affordable, and it's very, very effective, and we're making it even more and more effective almost day by day. So just check that out, join us, and we'll have some more exciting stuff for you later. We'll see everybody later. Thank you, Cassandra, Farouk, Haley. There were some other people in here too. Yvonne was here also earlier. Okay, we'll see you guys later.
All right, see
And
everybody.
yes, Farouk, I'll see you in just a minute. I'll paste